Stop trying so hard. I think as parents and as humans, we try to overdo it so much. We push so hard. We try to be so amazing. We try to be so on top of our kids. We try to make sure everything is so wonderful and just overdo it so much. And sometimes we need to just sit back and simplify things and just sit with it, see what happens, and not jump in too early and not like the lighthouse, right? And kind of be in that perspective of, I am where I am today, I'm doing what I need to do. I could go harder, but I can do it tomorrow. Let's see what happens today. That's for self. When it comes to parenting, it's, I'm gonna see if my kid succeeds or fails.
Greetings and salutations, friends. I'm Simcha Levenberg. This is my kitchen, and this is the Personal Pizza Podcast. Today, we will be making pizza with Eli Weinstein. Ellie is a therapist from Las Vegas, Nevada. Ellie is also a specialist or expert on parenting, and I have questions for him. Today's pizza is going to be two kinds. We're making a classic Neapolitan with a slightly different sauce, and we're also gonna make some grandma pizza, but I'm gonna be making it in the pizza oven to see if that cooks it differently. So let's see what happens. Welcome, everyone. Here he is. I told you he was coming. Eli Weinstein.
Surprise, I made it.
This is our first time meeting, but I'm very excited right now for this pizza journey. Let me just introduce you to what's happening here, and then we can get to, we can work and ask some questions. So we're making two pizzas. One pizza this is a pizza I've been making a lot lately. It's like a grandma pizza. I'm still working on the recipe.
There's a debate on grandma pizza, isn't there?
There's a lot of debates. Pizza in general is very polarizing, even though everybody loves it.
It's very controversial.
So this is like a no need. It just it's very high water content.
Okay.
So therefore you put it in and then it just kind of gets all the way to the side. I'm going to move it around a little bit.
Like a focaccia or something like that?
By the way, it's very similar to focaccia.
Are we going to do the weird finger thing?
We're going to do the weird finger thing. Yeah. We're going to stretch the dough all the way to the side.
I'm excited.
Then we're going to sauce it and put some Parmesan cheese on it. And then we're going to par-bake it. Then we're going to take it out. We're going to finish baking it. We're going to finish dressing it. And we're going to bake it for real. So that's the process here. And then we're going to make one regular pizza, like a Neapolitan style pizza.
Awesome.
Cool. Okay. I just need to go over here and grab my questions for you.
I have questions about the pizza.
Okay. You want to ask your questions while I get my questions?
Sure. Why are we par-baking this one?
Otherwise the top ingredients would cook too much. The mozzarella cheese would cook too much. And it's also super thick. So
you don't want a very doughy pizza.
You don't want it doughy on the
I'm
inside,
more of an undercooked kind of guy where it just slides right down your throat. You don't have to really chew that much.
By the way, you should know. You want to hear something interesting? This is not fermented dough, but this has been fermenting for a couple days.
Okay.
And in the process of fermenting, the gluten is being broken down by the yeast, and it actually is like pizza that's made like this with fermented dough is actually partially digested already. Like so that's why when you eat pizza and you don't feel heavy afterwards, you feel light, it's because you've eaten a fermented dough.
I've never felt that feeling before. I've never felt not light.
It's true. I've never stopped eating pizza when I was like,
yeah, I feel heavy now.
If there's an extra piece, then I'm going to want to have it. Okay, so with here, we're going to want to do some oil on our hands. So I'm going to wash my hands one more time, and then I'm going to oil up.
Hands, I promise.
Yes. This is very much a homemade pizza project.
That's how it always starts.
But therefore, like the true professionals out there have recognized all of the mistakes that I'm making, and I'm here to learn.
And hopefully they comment on the show so that
yes
you can learn the right ways, terminologies, dark underside, light underside.
Yeah, there's a whole. I'm ready to be embraced and chastised and hazed by the online pizza community as part of my coming online.
I'm very excited that mental health doesn't have as much controversy as pizza. Yet, until today.
Yeah. Okay, so here, I'm going to do oil on the hands. You should also.
Yeah?
Yeah, just to get it, just because we're going to be.
This is your secret to
how
you look so young, right?
It's very sticky. Yeah, so now what we're doing here, our move is.
Both sides?
Yeah, well, just for fun. Now we want to move this all the way to the sides without kind of ripping it.
I feel like we're in a slime museum.
Yeah. So that's it. See, but it's not sticking.
I did this with my daughter a couple weeks ago.
This is good bonding.
Yeah.
This is it. Okay, so.
And you can eat this unlike glue.
You can eat glue, by the way. Okay, here we go.
Don't tell the teacher.
I have this conversation a lot with friends
Yeah.
and clients also. Those of us who didn't have the most normal of childhoods and had parents who were, I don't want to say outright neglectful, but were not super engaged parents.
Yeah.
And now these people have grown up and they get married and they have kids. And so they're really parenting from a deficit.
Yeah.
How do you help people who have no idea what a parent's supposed to be, and yet here they are parenting?
Ooh.
And I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, for a friend? Okay. So
Maybe
as,
myself.
As another friend,
Yeah.
It's really actually a beautiful thing because your parents don't have to be the only people that you learn that from. So I have a client of mine who I'll call my clients Bob, because I have never had a Bob yet. So if there's a Bob out there, don't call me. So my client Bob.
Yep. Great guy, by the way.
Had a really hard time with parents like that. And ended up being the grandparent. The grandmother and an aunt were the ones who were his examples.
Okay.
So the beautiful thing is that you don't have to be parented correctly to be a great parent. There's so many beautiful ways and lessons that you can learn how to be an amazing parent, or your style of parenting, just by trial and error and figuring out what feels good and what works for you.
You're saying what's critical here that I'm hearing from you is that in Bob's case,
There's always someone.
there were what we say, primary figures,
Yeah,
attachment
people who took
figures.
over or he latched on as that example, because just because you don't have that direct example from a parent doesn't mean you can't have a parent or mentor figure who you can ask your questions to, who you can learn from, who you can see as someone who can be you respect in the factor of being a parent. So a lot of times,
so clients come to you and they say, "I wasn't parented, and I was raised like a feral animal."
Yeah.
You would say, "Really? Was there no one in your life?
Yeah.
Was there an uncle? Was there an aunt? Was there a teacher in school?
Yeah.
Was there a grandparent?"
and honestly,
Was there an older
this might be
sibling?
controversial, but we're making controversial pizza.
Yeah. We're making it. Did you see what I just did there?
What'd you do? You
I
pulled
want
it up?
I want to lift up and pull
Oh,
here.
you want me to
just,
do that? Okay.
Just a little bit, just to
not
get
to
it
rip.
all the way to the edge. But just
Not to rip. Okay.
Yeah, just to get it. Make sure we get fully to the edge here.
That you don't even have to have good parents or good mentors to be a good parent yourself, because you know what feels wrong. Sometimes you know what feels wrong because you've gone through it. So sometimes it's even just trusting your gut and feeling it out and talking to your partner and maybe learning from your partner because they might have had the experience that was good that you want to recreate.
Yes, that was one of the reasons why I was very excited to marry my wife, amongst other reasons. But like, I met her parent. They're like super normal, boring people. Yeah, no, they're like healthy people, like the regular people. You did a really good job there. That was good.
I learned from my 5-year-old.
Yeah, no, this is right. It is like working with slime, by the way. That's
awesome.
100% what this is. It's very different than regular pizza. It's
sensory.
Yeah. Yes.
Look
at that. Look at us discovering new types of therapy. Pizza therapy.
Pop-up
could be a
museum of just making pizza dough.
Yeah. Yes.
No one steal that.
No.
LA, don't steal it.
Okay, they might. So, I guess what I'm hearing from you is this is what I wanted to say. How often though do people come to you and they just like don't understand what a parent is? Do you ever have to people like, this is your job as a parent. This is not your job as a parent. Okay.
Because I think we all have expectations or preconceived notions that we think what a parent should be. And sometimes it just needs a little reshaping.
A lot of us just know what a parent shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And we're just kind of like,
don't hit your kids.
Don't hit, always a good one.
Don't kill them.
Don't
keep
murder
them
children.
alive.
Yes.
Right, it's really important.
Safety first.
Safety first. But then it's like, okay, what about the positives or the good things that I should do? Do I read these books? Do I listen to music while they're in mommy's belly? Or like, what do I do? Like, those things are not.
That was never a question that I had.
Yeah. I just sang heavy
you did
metal.
a really
I sang
good
heavy
job.
metal. That's what I did.
I can't. You just got your pizza is so much more to the side than mine. I don't understand what.
Maybe I have
know.
your hands.
I don't know. Yeah, you did a really good job. It's really smoothed out. Okay, so now the next part of we're gonna now put we're gonna put some sauce on. I'm gonna wash my hands again.
Do we wash hands?
Yeah, because we don't need it. We're not
Isn't
gonna
there
be
a
using
meme
oil
like that
anymore.
where like every time you touch something you go to the sink?
Yes, there is.
Is that you?
It's not me.
Thing?
What? Yeah, use that thing.
Two sinks, no waiting.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
if you want some hand soap, there's some right there. I used the dish soap.
I was just going to
before.
use the olive oil again.
Okay, that's good.
Is that your secret for good looks?
Yeah. No.
No?
No, it's not. I use Head and Shoulders. I use Head and Shoulders on my whole body. I went to true story. I went to a dermatologist, okay? You don't know. And she was like, look, I'll tell you a secret. She's Dr. Shanehouse, great lady.
Shout out,
she was like, you should use Head and Shoulders on your whole body. And that's because it has zinc in it. And she's like, you don't need to use any expensive soaps or anything. And that's what I do. And of course, you know what? It's built into the name because it's called Head and Shoulders.
But not torso and behind.
So therefore, you ready for this? Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Body wash. It's the same thing. This is such a good idea. I can't believe they haven't done it.
Just zinc. Ooh.
Yeah.
What is your process?
Making the sauce?
Do you go pre-made to Trader Joe's basil?
No.
Or do you go like straight from the tree?
I get jarred tomatoes.
Okay. Certain ones?
Plum. Yes. San Marzano or this other branch that I get.
San Gimignano, but that's a place in Italy.
Yes, I do it, and I buy them, and then I blend it myself. I don't do it by hand. I do it in the food
processor thing.
I do it in a blender.
Clearly, we know cooking terms.
Yeah, you could tell.
I'm saying San Gimignano instead of.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Okay. Next question for you. While we're here, hold on. Oh, what do you do with parents who might come to you and they just feel like imposters, like that they're playing the parenting role, but they're not doing a good job? Does that happen to you? Because I feel like that.
I think that's every parent. I think we all don't know what we're doing until we try, we make mistakes, we learn from it, or we learn from our friends, or hear stories. But I think it's really a trial and error for what works for you, your partner, and your kids. Mm-hmm. So there should be some imposter syndrome because there is no manual. Like, I don't know about you, but when my kids were born, they said, okay, here's how you save your child if they're dying. Mm-hmm. Here's how not to kill your child. Mm-hmm. Here's an outfit. Yes. And maybe some diapers. Maybe. You should steal them, by the way. I mean, take them nicely from a nurse who gives it to you, and go home. Right. And that's it. You very much have imposter syndrome because you sit there the first night or the first couple of weeks or first couple of years, and every new challenge is, no one told me about this, or this was not explained in the handbook, or what to expect when expecting, book that everyone reads. I don't know what I'm doing this. I don't belong here. There is a certain amount of parenting that if we knew what it was going to be, we probably wouldn't do it. We would never do it. Exactly. Because I have teenagers right now. I'm so sorry. I don't know there's only way out is through. I do call my mother on a regular basis and apologize. Yeah. Not for anything specific, just for being a teenager in her house. Yeah. Yes. Okay, so now I'm just going to do just Parmesan and then we're going to bake. Do you do like the legitimate Parmesan? Did you buy the rind and did the whole thing? I did it this morning. Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, it looks gorgeous. Yes. So we go kind of heavy here. Why does it smell? What do you mean? Because it's old. This is like a year old. It's aged. If we put you in the drawer for a year, you would come up. You get some of these notes. I would not fit. You didn't say how big the drawer was. Okay, imposter syndrome. I asked. That was a good answer, and that was a great answer. And I think it's really important for everyone to hear that you shouldn't know everything, and you should research, ask, find people who you trust, who you can have a full conversation. Mm-hmm. And something I say to a lot of parents that I work with, and couples when it comes to these things, is the idea of, you don't know, it doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. Mm-hmm. Because you're just trying to figure it out. And what worked for kid number 1 might not work for kid number 6. It might not work? It does not work. It never works. Right? Every kid is so different. So different, and it makes it so enjoyable. Yes. I have another question, but I want to put this in the oven. Okay. Oh, so this goes in the oven. It doesn't go in the uni. No, it goes in the uni. It's going to go in the uni. Yes, I'm going to lower the temperature on there, and we're just going to put it in. Why is it called an uni? I've never done it. That's the name of the company. I know that, but do they have a cool thing behind it? Or they probably do. Because it's one. Yeah. It's uno. Okay, so we're going to take this out. Yeah? Do we do a dance while we go out? No, we don't. I just walk and try not to spill anything. Okay. Yeah. So right now, I'm going to tell you. Oh, we have the radar. Yeah, right now we're super hot. Right now we're 9:45. Starting. How long did it take you to get this process somewhat right? This is going for years. We're doing this for years, since 2020. I was thinking of Apollo 13. Yeah. Right? Great movie, by the way, Tom Hanks. Amazing movie. Absolutely love it. In a certain extent, it's all parenting is like that. Yeah. We're in there, we're trying to fix this airplane, and while in the middle of space. And it's not going well. So my point is that
it's a miracle if it ever works out.
Yeah.
The fact that there is parents who have a Sully-like experience. Okay, so now let's see how we're doing here. Okay, good.
The success that I have is because I'm a parent also.
Yes.
So I get
with
that,
clients.
With clients. You're
perfect
good.
temperature. Perfect temp.
Let's
We're
go.
right
We got
where
perfect
wanna
temp. So in the end, those
Yeah.
three things are important. Everything else is extra.
Right.
Everything else is amazing.
I'm sorry. Let me hear that. It was safety.
Safety. You kept them alive.
Yes.
You didn't kill them, or they didn't. Nothing happened to them.
Yes.
And they're healthy and well fed and kept good.
Yes.
You hit the basic marker of being a good parent, and the fact that it bothers you means you're amazing.
Oh, so look, we're doing really well. This is 4 minutes. I'm gonna say a couple more minutes, and then we'll let it go like 8 minutes, and then we'll take it out. Okay. How?
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Looks delicious.
We're at 5.5. Yeah,
What's
I
the-
think
what's the
I think we
time?
should take it out now and put the other stuff on it and then get it back in.
I think you need bigger gloves up your arms. So you don't put it in your
Yeah,
forearm.
I hope I don't burn myself. But
That'd be
yeah, it's
really
looking really
painful.
good. It's looking nice.
That would be exciting for the show. And then it could be how to survive burns while making pizza in the oven.
Okay, so now we're gonna come with our
So you specifically stick to mozzarella.
and the Parmesan.
Yeah, but you don't do like any funky
Not yet.
Gouda.
Not yet, not yet,
I don't
no.
know. That's the only cheese I could think of.
Again,
I went with it. I tried.
Yeah, you did well. It's I just follow the recipes, and I feel like once I get to a point where I'm doing the recipes and they're coming out well, and I get bored with it,
Okay.
and the flavor is lacking in that area, then I will get funky with the cheeses.
Get funky with it. Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't hit that yet. Thank you. Good job, Ellie.
I got you.
Okay. When did you decide? Because you're a young man. You're in your early 30s right now. You're already a therapist. Been a therapist for years.
For about 10 years, yeah.
Yeah. So when did you realize you wanted to be a therapist?
Well, I really wanted to be a doctor because
Okay.
I really love helping people in a time of struggle and to like be that stable, consistent person in their life. And I realized that I am not good at school. So the idea of doing 10, 15 years of school to do that and sciences are not my strong suit. I have a lot of weaknesses, but one of them is not listening. Listening, I mean. One of them, I don't know how to
Start
say it.
over again. One of them
is
one of your strengths
strengths
is
is
listening.
listening.
There we go.
And I was always that kid that all my friends would turn to talk to about their
Yep.
struggles. Not that I had any answers at that time.
That didn't matter.
And I was like, what can I do to help people that doesn't take forever, that I'm passionate about and love? And I love why people are the way they are and how to help them be a better version of what they want to be.
Yeah.
And then I was working at clinics and I fell into relationships because I love love, I love relationship world, and I love parents because I wanted to work with teens.
You did.
And I was in the teen world. All my colleagues were like, "You're insane. What are you doing working with teens? That's the hardest thing ever."
Okay.
And what I ended up finding was that the parents needed a lot more help than the teens did.
That if you want to help teams, it's really about working with the parents.
When I was in the clinic working for hours on end, working with teens, the parents would come bursting in halfway through the session, yelling and screaming, "Did they tell you about this? What about this?" and all those things. And I realized, wait one second. Why don't I pause and just work with the parents to help them be better parents for their kids, and in turn create a safer, calmer, loving, more space for their kids, so that their kids can have a space to feel and be what they need to be. So I gave up on teenagers, but I love them. I love working with teenagers.
A question. You don't have any teenagers right now.
No, I have a 5.5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Okay, so my question is, you said before that one of the buy-ins or one of the things that makes you able to work with parents is your own parenting experience. But you're just like the rest of us.
Yep.
Because you don't have any, because you've not had the personal experience.
Yeah.
So how do you offering therapy to parents in this like forbidden, confusing land of teenage experiences?
So the thing about, I'm going to use a word that I think is made up, but therapizing them.
Okay.
Copyright right here.
Yes.
Therapizing. For me is about connecting to their main struggle of feelings and emotions. So if they're feeling overwhelmed because their kid's screaming and yelling at them or storming out, I mean, my 5-year-old does that. Or the idea of I don't know what to do, and helping them have an objective person to walk through it with them can sometimes be that back and forth that they need just to think outside of themselves or outside of their heads or outside of their feelings or outside of their struggles to be able to come to a better place for them to come up with an answer,
Yes.
figure out a tactic,
Yes.
trial and error, have someone hold them accountable. All those things still stand true even though I don't have a teenager. And when I have a teenager, come talk to me then, and then I'll
That's
just
when
be-
you're
I'll just
gonna
be crying.
That's when you're gonna write the book on parenting teenagers, right?
No, thank you.
Or not? Okay.
Maybe. We shall see.
Okay, let's put this back outside, and then I'll ask you some more questions. Okay, so now we're gonna go cook this until it looks perfect. Probably
So
another
the
5
cheese
minutes.
is on there, and it's basically already melted.
Yeah. Yes.
That's amazing.
Okay. It's like 5 to 8 minutes, maybe.
And is the goal to be like brown
I
bubbly?
want it to be brown bubbly on top, and then I really want it to be like almost like a focaccia brown all around,
Amazing.
crispy golden. I listened to some other podcasts, including one with a pediatrician, and she talked about this thing called lighthouse parenting.
Okay.
It got in my head, and I really like the idea. Do you remember what her definition of lighthouse parenting was?
I'm guessing overwatching and shining the way, but staying far back.
Yes, that was it.
Let's go, I know what I'm talking
As
about.
opposed to helicopter parenting.
Where you're just like over top and making sure
Totally
it's
over
being
top, right.
overwhelming.
Yes. My question is, I just started to wanting to name all the other parenting styles and figure out which inanimate object most clearly represents them. Like for gentle parenting, what do we think that would be? Yeah, this is gonna need a lot of time. It's gonna sit for a while. What would you say are like the prevailing parenting styles of folks who are coming into your office now?
I feel like a lot of parents are struggling with the idea of these new terms of gentle parenting. And they're like, I want to be a good parent. I want to do it right. And they just want to understand what that means for them. Gentle parenting is the idea of being present and being soft with their feelings, not let them do whatever they want because they have feelings. There's a balance.
So gentle
right?
parenting has boundaries.
100%. Do that because.
Right.
Here's like a life lesson. Some parents say, if there's a bully on the yard, what do? Pop him in the face, call it a day. I'm very proud of you. Other parents go, no, tell a teacher, right? And it's up to the family code and the values the family has to dictate what those guidelines are for the kids.
Right. And trying new things and working.
So do
around.
I, but like,
Yeah. You're saying there's a ceiling?
see me in person.
Really? Do you have an office though? Or are you working
In
from
my
home?
house.
Oh, look, we're almost done.
Let's go.
Almost done. Okay. Let me just hang that out over here. This is the coolest part of the oven. This is,
Look the awesome back.
yeah, we're getting there. This is kind of nice. I just want that one corner right there. I want to do 2 corners, that corner, and then I want to flip it around and do the other corner the same way. And then I think we'll take it out.
I feel like as a
see what I
chef,
got.
you have to like be a little wacky.
Well, yeah.
Not that you are.
Oh, no,
I'm
of
not
course
saying
not.
that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Put this one here right
This is
now.
the chill area.
Yeah, it's just going to chill for a couple minutes because it's very hot.
And then you slice it with that fancy thing.
And then we'll take it out. Yeah. Then we'll get it out. It's super hot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How many times have you burned yourself?
Not so far, not yet today.
Really? Not today. I'm talking about,
All the time it happens. Yeah. Let's see how we did. We did good. Oh yeah. Oh, this is gonna be nice. I'm super excited about this. Okay. Okay, great. Now I'm just gonna make one other normal pizza real fast, and then we're gonna sit down and eat that one.
What's the difference between Neapolitan and that's just,
Different.
are you guys seeing the
Different
sacrilegious
doughs.
pizza in there?
I don't know what's going on over there.
Sacrilegious
We're
pizza bagels
we're
in
not
there.
gonna see that. Don't even look. Don't even look. Let me wash my hands one more
Can't
time.
believe you allow a sacrilegious bagel.
When people are coming to see you,
Yeah.
how much medication are kids already on, and how do you bring up the topic of medication, and how do you deal with medication management?
Ooh, I love that question. So I'm not pro or against
Mm-hmm.
medication. I'm pro and against it for the right person and against it for the wrong person.
Okay.
And for me, it's just having an honest conversation with the parents because in the end, the parents are the experts of their kids. They're there every day. They see the baseline, they see the ups, the downs, the lows, the highs.
Right.
So for me, it's just having this conversation of what is baseline for your kid? Is this something that they're stopping or not able to function with? Is your household not able to function because of this? And it's really having an honest conversation with each other.
Right.
When it comes to the medication management itself or overdiagnosis,
Yes.
there's a colleague of mine, her name is Katie Davis. She's a psychiatrist in Furkoff. She's an educator and researcher out in Furkoff
Okay.
in New York. And she's actually coming out with a book soon
Okay.
on the idea of overdiagnosis over the years and what is diagnosis. And a lot
Okay.
of parents want a diagnosis so they can feel heard and validated for their struggles with their kid.
So they can say like, my son has
See,
ODD.
my kid's not crazy.
Yes.
My kid's not terrible. They're not bad kids. They just have XYZ, whatever that diagnosis is. And it kind of gives a lot of comfort. So that's one reason why people want diagnosis. It gives them
Right.
comfort.
Yes.
Number 2, it also gives direction. So, okay, now if I know there's a diagnosis, now there's a plan of action to deal with it. It's not just general mental health. It could be, okay, now we're going to take this tactic. We're going to come from this direction because now we have an idea. The third thing sometimes is just to say, which is like not the best thing to say. A lot of parents do it with like, see, I told you were nuts, right? You have this problem, which I don't like, and I try to stay away from that.
Yes.
But when it comes to medication management, it's about having, and every therapist should have 1 to 5 psychiatrists, or I like psych NPs a little more.
I don't know. Can you explain the difference to
So
both
a
me
psychiatrist is a medical doctor.
Yes.
Who goes, are we going to throw this in the air?
No, I don't throw.
Oh, I got so excited for a second.
sorry.
Sorry, I
Apologies.
interrupted myself. ADHD. It's a psychiatrist is a doctor who goes to medical school and then specializes in psychology.
Got it.
A psych NP is a nurse who has to go to nursing school and then goes to a master's degree in nurse practitioner, which then does what focuses on psychiatry. And because they did nursing first, they have a lot, in my mind, better bedside manner.
Which is very important with kids.
Exactly, and with parents, with this struggle, with understanding. So I'm a big psych NP guy. No shade to psychiatrists. I've worked with many psychiatrists who are unbelievable, and the ones who are amazing, they know it, and they're pretty flooded with work, unfortunately. And so for me, it's having resources to people I trust to say, I know I have a limit to my explanation. Here's someone who will literally give you the ins and outs of the medication, tell you the side effects, the worries, the concerns. What does this mean for our family, for our life, financially, when it comes to pharmaceuticals?
Right.
And to me, it's all about transparency and honesty. No parent wants to have the workaround. They want someone to talk right at them and tell them, here's what's happening, here's what I think, what do you think? And have a real heart-to-heart. No jargon, no nothing, just real honesty. I remember when I was a kid, I had to go to psychiatrists. I have ADHD.
Yep.
And the ones that I liked the most, and it was one for many years, who was just there to be real and honest with me and my parents. There was no joking around. There was no like, how does it make you feel? None of that stuff.
Right.
It was a no BS attitude. And to
I like
me,
that.
That's how I run my practice. It's no BS with lots of compassion. And to me, people are very receptive because then they get real conversations, real information, and hopefully can get real answers to what they're struggling with.
Right. Does it ever happen that people come to you and they want, they're like, I would like for you to see my son, and then you meet their son and like, the kid is basically fine.
Oh, yes.
And like, and you go back to the parents and you're like, I don't know that, you know.
That's one of the reasons why I started working with parents. It's because I worked, there were 3 clients I can think of on the top of my head right now working in a clinic out in Queens in New York where the mom was so adamant that something was wrong with their kid. And the kid was like, please help me. My mom is insane. and it kept being that I would bring her in for half or 3/4 of the session to work on things between the two of them. Like she would have a tracker on his phone, and if he turned the wrong way, she would text him and be like, you're going the wrong way, come back. An intensity like that, helicopter parenting. And she was very anxious for a lot of good reasons. She had a lot of trauma back in her past. So for me, it was like, wait one second. If I help her with her trauma and help work what it means to be a parent for her today, for her kid now, she might see her kid in a positive light because her kid's not being a problem, her kid's not being anything.
Right.
And she's not being anything because now she's better and feeling more full. So that client specifically, I remember going to my wife one night. It might have been I was sleep deprived having a new baby.
Right.
And I literally said to her, I said, I think I'm going to work with parents. I cannot work with teenagers anymore. And it was so draining to work with both.
To work with both, going back and forth.
Yeah. Because I couldn't focus. I was unable to help the teen because the mom had struggles, and I was unable to help the mom because she was making me see the teen.
Correct.
And the teen was doing unbelievably, and I still remember him today. One of my favorite teen clients that I've had. Such a soft-natured, unbelievable soul, and he was being snuffed out by the intensity of his mother.
Of his mother's anxiety.
Yeah.
And concern for him.
Yeah. And he was losing himself, and all he wanted to do was run away and just leave, and all his mother wanted to do was love him more. And it was a very fun, interesting dynamic.
Right. And how did it end off with them? How did you leave them?
Well, I left the clinic to go on and open my own practice.
Right.
And unfortunately, and I say this honestly, unfortunately, I couldn't continue working with them because of insurance struggles and financial issues.
Always.
It's why I do take insurance because.
Oh, you do?
I do.
Look at you.
I know. I'm a weird one.
I don't think it's weird at all. I think it's quite noble.
I would like to get paid outside of insurance. Please don't put that in.
I'm sure you have some. I'm sure you have some clients who pay out of pocket, right?
I do. But for the most part, what I've seen after COVID is a lot of people really ask about the insurance thing first.
Yes.
And like finances are tight and inflation and all those things. And it really just gives an opportunity for someone to get the care they need.
Right. Okay, we're going to drop this one outside.
Oh, you are
Take
also?
Yeah, we're going to take this one out.
Ooh.
Do it right now. We're dropping it in.
And what makes it not stick?
To what?
Because
To
the
this?
corn flour helps it not stick.
It rolls it off. Yeah.
Seriously, why is that? I don't understand how that works.
There's tiny little wheels,
No,
basically.
but wouldn't it like a
It's
pan?
in a pan, so it has oil on it, yeah.
Yeah. What's that pan called?
That's a cast iron, just, I don't know what it happened for us. Look
So
on
right
this
now
one.
it's literally 900 degrees.
850 probably.
So it's gonna cook in like 2 minutes.
Oh, less than that, yeah. Yes.
And what's your ideal sauce to cheese? Are you a really cheesy?
I don't know. Again, I told you, I'm still in such an early stage with this 4 years in that I can't give a straight answer
What's
to
your
that.
preference? So like, do you like a really saucy?
No.
Or you like a really light but really cheesy?
No.
Or a medium?
I like them both. I like a light sauce and light cheese. Because I
Like
really
light
want to
sauce
be.
and light, because you're really about the bread.
I'm obsessed with the dough.
About the
yeah.
dough. Okay, so you're.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
what
a
are we
little bit of
talking-
tang.
What kind of spice are we talking about?
Red
here?
pepper flakes.
Let's
That's
go.
it. Yeah. Okay. almost
Hopefully I don't
done
choke on camera.
here. For the straight gas ones.
Oh, they have other ones that are what, electric?
No, that are you can do wood. You can do wood pellets.
Because
or
my
you can do-
smoker, I do wood pellets. And that is a totally different way of cooking and so
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but it tastes good. You're literally shooting it at one spot and
Yeah.
going that spot.
Okay. Good.
How do you clean it?
I like this one. How's this work for you?
That is amazing.
This is like childhood pizza that we had in New Jersey. This is like what, if you had any Italian friends growing up, this is what their grandmothers made every Friday. This was it.
Yeah? This is unbelievable.
This is a pizza that Kenny Appel's grandma would make. Kenny Appel, thank you.
Thank you, Kenny. I don't know who you are. But
I haven't seen him in many years. So I like this one very much. It's not too oily on the bottom. Look at that great color. Look at that. Color's incredible. This is so good.
This is your first time making it?
No, I make it often.
Okay.
This is my first time making it in the uni. Normally I bake it in my regular oven, but it bakes so nicely in the uni.
So good.
Oh, fast too,
I love that I'm on a cooking show and I didn't have to cook anything.
right? A pretty good deal.
Yeah. That's really good.
I'm excited that I get to eat it because so often I go places and it's not kosher, and then I'm like, oh, I'm not hungry.
That was the crazy part about Izzy's in Brooklyn. He learned how to do barbecue in
Yes.
Texas.
Is that what it?
Without eating anything. He sat and watched and studied the science, and then went back and redid it with kosher cut meat.
That's pretty good. And by the way, not bad.
Yeah. I
It's
wouldn't
pretty
know.
good. Pretty
I
good.
wouldn't
Have you never had it?
No, I
Great
wouldn't
smoked
know.
chicken sandwich.
I
Oh,
wouldn't
what
know
to compare it
comparatively,
to? Okay.
I think I'm gonna buy an uni.
Good. It's good. I mean, no reason not to. You ever have it happen where parents come in and they're too permissive with their children?
Yes.
And you're like, you gotta rein this in.
Yeah. It hasn't happened so often, but when it has happened, it's very interesting to hear why. They're like, I want my kid to be a free spirit and live their life. And it's really interesting if you actually look at the research. Permissive parenting creates chaos in a kid. So when a kid doesn't have some set of boundaries, some set of rules, regulations, if you don't want to call them rules because you don't want to be harsh about it, but some set of keeping a kid in some control or some health, it creates a better rhythm to their life. It creates a better expectation of what's to come, right? Having that rhythm of a day or saying no and then saying yes creates comfort for a kid, which sounds weird because you think, do what you want to do, that is comfort. Freedom is comfort. No, rules and boundaries are comfort because you know what to expect. You know where the line is. You know how far the line is. And you can just kind of sit in that pocket. Right? A lot of athletes talk about the pocket, right? Being in the pocket.
Yes.
Or even musicians, and maybe even the flow state of cooking, this beautiful
Yes.
pizza, this pocket of success. And you got to follow these rules to be in the pocket. So that's what parenting is. And permissive parenting, if you ever look at kids that are really out there, very chaotic, screaming, yelling, tantrums all over the place consistently. We're not talking about kids allowed to have tantrums. My daughter had a tantrum yesterday because I gave her the wrong cup.
It was your fault, by the way.
I know it was.
You had
It was
that
supposed to be blue. I gave her red. I'm the problem. Still the same water. That's normal. That's a healthy range of frustration. Not every time, every day, all day about everything.
And you're saying frequently you see that when it's chaos, it's because there's been no boundaries.
Usually it's because the
end.
boundaries haven't been either set strongly, haven't been consistent. So consistency, it's not like doing it once and then forgetting about it. It's being consistent with it. And number 3, so right, it's consistency, but doing it in the first place. And the third one is sometimes kids, what's the word now? Not temperature. Not tantrums. Characteristic traits. We'll just go with characteristic traits. They're
Temperament.
temperament. There you go. Back it up. Sometimes the kid's temperament is just a very aggressive, intense kid. Those kids need that boundaries with love so much more than everyone else. And if you look at the books of The Explosive Child, it talks about that. Right? The kids don't have this set of
They need a
rules.
container.
There's a container. And it means that you can give them freedom. Hey, you have 3 choices of what you want to wear. But you choose the choice as a parent. You're not just saying, choose 3 things, whatever you want. You can do this. You can have 3 options for today, or 2. You get to pick them. So the kid still has that free spirit, that excitement, that energy.
Some
feeling,
amount of agency.
But you are controlling what that looks like. Hey, you want to watch TV? Okay, you can watch TV for 45 minutes, let's say, 30 minutes, whatever you feel comfortable as a parent. And you control what they watch. You don't say, yeah, you can go on YouTube and watch whatever next video comes up. No, we're going to watch Disney Plus. Or we're going to watch Paramount Plus, whatever Nickelodeon shows. Oh, I don't want you watching SpongeBob. But you don't even say that. That's not even an option.
Do you not want your kids watching SpongeBob?
Yeah, it makes me crazy.
I never watched it because I kind of missed it. Did you grow up with SpongeBob?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the research of like it causes ADHD is totally wrong. Just like every show
Right.
is just like, look here, it just creates that energy. But that's not even an option for my kids.
Right.
Because I want them to watch 3 or 4 options for my sanity
And their
for their
safety.
health.
Yeah.
So let's say Bluey is a great option. It makes me
Who is Bluey?
Bluey is a New Zealand show on Disney
Okay.
Plus.
Okay.
And it
learning a lot today.
really is unbelievable.
Right.
I think it's hilarious. It's fun. It's very insightful. It's very feeling based and meaningful. They're coming out with a movie actually in a couple of years.
Okay.
But it actually like the dad is very involved. So as a father, I feel very seen. And the dad is wacky, has the craziest games, which like sets the bar that I can never match.
Right.
But it's like, oh, the dad's important and the mom. And it really says, and it's
That's what I really liked about Malcolm in the Middle also.
Yes.
Is that I felt like this is a real family where the dad and mom are both crazy,
Nuts.
but they also really care about their children and they're always end up in the right place.
I was just rewatching the show a couple of weeks ago, and Bryan Cranston is naked, and like just wearing underwear, and like getting shaved in the middle of nothing. And I'm like, that's a real family. That happens, you know. Someone needs to shave my neck. I can't do it myself, you know, or my back.
Yeah.
My wife draws things on my back.
Hold on a second.
What? Never mind. We got.
Yeah. Okay. No. Yeah. Let's
This
keep
isn't
that.
a manscaping episode. This is
It's
a
not.
pizza
No,
and-
that's next time.
next time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Eat more pizza. Okay, that was
So
good.
folding's allowed.
Yeah, folding's always allowed. What do you guys think about the pizza? Where are we with the pizza? Working? This one is better, right?
That's yummy.
This, I feel like this
It's a
one,
classic good pizza.
this
that
one needed to be in the oven wasn't hot enough. And
I
I
would
say
eat
that
that.
because if you look at the bottom,
It's still a little white.
it's embarrassing.
No, it's not embarrassing. But this was like special.
That's a special pizza, right?
It's really
It's
special.
nuts.
Do you?
Drew, thoughts?
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Do you ferment that or no? That's just straight up. You make the
that
dough.
is fine.
Use it that day. You let it rise for a little bit or no?
Yeah.
And that's a recipe that you found.
Yeah. There's like something amazing about that.
And when you do it in the oven, does it come out good?
Not as good as that. That is like that's it.
Because you get the crisp.
We got the perfect crisp.
That's delicious.
Also the rise. Like
Also, I love the
see all
holes.
The
Yeah.
holes in the rise.
So that. But,
Oh, it's called open crumb.
but why is it not? So what's the difference between that and focaccia?
Great name. Focaccia doesn't have any cheese on it. It doesn't
No, I'm
have any
saying,
sauce
so
on
if
it.
you didn't do any sauce and cheese and you did like olive oil,
I think it would. I think it would be
rosemary.
very similar to focaccia. It might be a little bit different. If my son were here, he would yell at me and tell me why I'm wrong, and he would know that there is a difference. Focaccia is not pizza. They're created at 2 different times
no, it's
in
not
Italy.
pizza. But if I would take away the cheese and sauce,
It would be very much focaccia-like, I think.
Yeah.
I think we could really get somewhere close with that. Okay.
you can cut it in half and make sandwiches with it.
You guys are exactly where I am. I've also arrived at this pizza being like something special. So I feel great.
That's really delicious. When you open
Okay.
your own store.
Never.
Good.
No.
Good.
I'm never gonna, even surf safe. It's just too much for me. Okay. Is
I didn't have an edge. He said I should have a corner.
what?
I didn't have a corner yet.
Have a corner.
He said I should have a corner.
You have to have a corner.
I'm having a corner.
Everyone needs to have a corner. It's very important because that's the best. The corner bite is the best bite.
I will.
Yeah. What do you do with ADHD?
That's a very big question.
Yeah.
What do I do with myself? What do I do
No.
with parents?
First of all, you have it. So
Yeah, it's a party.
you dealt with it your whole life,
All life.
which is kind of cool as a therapist because you can really relate to the children and then you can be to the parents like, I know exactly what they're going through.
Sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
How often is it that parents are pushing you for an ADHD diagnosis for that reason that they really, really want to know this is it and this is what we can do?
I think a lot of the times it's pressure from the school, like we were saying before, about your kid is misbehaving or not performing or not hitting those markers that we would like or creating chaos in they're interrupting all these things.
Yep.
And they feel they need to do this so that they can get an answer so they can have the school stop bothering them.
So a lot of this has to do with they want
Sometimes pressure from the school.
like an IEP. And
Sometimes,
what's
yeah.
an IEP stand for?
Don't remember.
Something.
Education
Improvised.
plan.
Educational. So individual.
Individual education plan.
Right.
We are professionals. We
Yes.
know these names.
Yes. I don't work with kids. And I avoid my own.
But no, with ADHD, to me, it's about, and there's a very big controversy on saying the next thing I'm about to say, which is finding the superpower within ADHD. So a lot
Right.
of people don't like that terminology because
I love
it
it.
means like, oh, it's a good thing. I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing.
It's
is.
values neutral.
It just
ADHD is values neutral.
It is. It just is. You have
It is a
ADHD.
constellation of behaviors
Yeah.
that the DSM says is this.
Yeah.
But it's neither good
or bad. It just is. So find the skills and ways that your kid can succeed. So for me, my teacher back in the day used to always tell my parents that I was always dancing. She was Israeli. She'd go, Ellie, he's dancing, dancing, dancing. Because I just had so much energy in my body. I still do. Usually people only see me from up here, so my feet are usually tapping. I'm usually playing with my hands with something like a pencil or a pen or a sweatshirt. I'm like touching a sweatshirt. I don't know why. But in the reality of it all, my parents didn't know what to do with me. So they put me in sports, thinking that would be the energy, which it was. But then I actually went to my boys' choir. I was in my boys' choir for many years.
Which boy is this a known boys choir?
Miami Boys Choir?
You were in the Miami
Boys Choir.
Oh, okay. So folks at home,
It is a Jewish choir that travels the world, country, and sings a lot.
yeah, it sounds like there should be a 5-part podcast about like all the horrible things that happened in Miami Boys Choir, but it
call
hasn't
me.
happened yet, either because no one got caught or because it's still in production. How long were you there for?
Like 4 or 5 years.
Okay.
So that was very good for my control.
Question.
Yes.
You were not living in Miami or you were?
No, it started in Miami because he lived in Miami for a couple of years and then moved back to New York.
So the Miami Boys Choir is not
It's
based
just like
in Miami.
the homage to the
Okay.
original choir.
But you
in
were a
Miami.
boy at
I
the
was
time.
a boy. I was
Okay.
8.
You're 8. And from 8 to 11, you said?
Yeah, 9 to like 12.
Okay, and then you hit puberty and they're like, you're out?
And he kept saying, "You're too tall." That was what he kept saying.
Yeah.
"You're just too tall, Ellie." And I'm like, "So is it?"
Oh, so Miami Boys Choir though, some dancing, right?
No, but it
There's
was
some
more
moves.
of the idea that I had to be on a stage, performing. People were looking at me,
And you couldn't.
and I couldn't just run around because he
Right.
would
Yep.
scream at you.
Yeah.
So it taught me how to go into that state of, oh, I can dance now, and wait, I have to be in control. Or I'm singing and I'm using my energy, and wait, I have to pay attention. And it was a really good thing for me to be able to learn how to turn it on and turn it off.
Like you have a braking system with your
Yeah.
ADHD. I can let it fly and then I can
Because in
tone it
sports,
down
what's the goal? Let it fly.
all the time.
When are you not flying?
Right.
Whether it's basketball, football, soccer, like with offsides, maybe you don't fly in soccer, but no one understands the rules anyways.
Right.
But like with baseball, what are you doing? You're standing there and you can just do this the whole time while you're in the field.
Yes.
You're not ever learning that.
Total
That's
stillness.
why karate is so great for kids.
Uh-huh.
Because it teaches them there has to be a respect for the space. There is a procedure. There is a prompt. You get up and do this. Now you sit and you watch someone else do it. And if you misbehave, what happens? You get either some consequence, punishment, or you don't get your belt, whatever the dojo runs.
Does your ADHD, how does that tie into your like love of tea making?
tea making?
Yeah.
That's more of the obsessive side of it.
Okay.
So I love making tea because I love the mindfulness process of it all, and like you like all the different science of the pizza. To me, I got really obsessed with tea. So I do that with reading. I'm pretty obsessed with reading. I'm pretty obsessed with music. I'm obsessed with tea, and I get into certain things. And it's more of that neurodivergence of like that obsessiveness that I hyper focus on things and kind of forget about other things sometimes. Thank God never my kids or my wife. But sometimes I'll be like, oh gosh, it's this time. I forgot I have to go to bed. So that is a part of it. It's like this excitement, this energy of where to put my energy.
And then so when you work with parents of
It's
children,
explaining all that.
that this is not something that we shouldn't just be turning down the volume on your kid.
No.
We just got to find their spots.
To find where to turn the volume, where to put the volume to.
Yes.
Where do you plug in the speakers? And to me, that's a very good thing as a parent because you're not telling them no. You're not saying, hey, there's something wrong with you and you're a problem. It's you are very blessed and you have a beautiful energy. Sometimes we have to learn that the energy is not acceptable here, but here, go all out. This is the beauty. So I'm a very big feeler. So I kind of fall on more of the feminine energy if you look at like the men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Okay, I didn't know we were going to be talking about that, but yes.
Yeah,
so you
sorry.
are more from Venus.
Sometimes,
Okay.
right? So I'm more of the
Venus
feeling,
oriented.
thinking, like
Got
depth, and my wife is more of the giving an answer to the question and solving problems. But that's because of my ADHD. I'm a big feeler. That's why I think I'm very empathetic as a therapist.
Correct.
Because I just feel a lot. But that means when I get silly and excited, I am super silly excited. When I am extremely happy, I'm there. When I'm angry, I can go like that really quick, but then also go back down.
Right.
But that's a power that I have that I can use for the good things.
And this
learn
is
how to
what
channel
you
the bad
this
things.
is what you pitch to parents as like a hope emergent.
Yeah.
Like they're coming, son is ADHD, and you're like, no, ADHD is not a
it's
problem.
not a death sentence.
This is just something you have to deal
Because-
with. But if you learn how to deal
Yeah.
with this is actually a superpower.
And I'm not here to call out any other neurodivergence, but if you look at, let's say, autism, autism is a very different world of the struggles that a kid deals with compared to ADHD. Even though they're both neurodivergent on the spectrum of that neurodivergence, autism is a lot more difficult for certain challenges that ADHD doesn't have. Or Down syndrome, like those things that you get diagnosed with that are on that spectrum. ADHD is not a death sentence. Your
Right.
kid can grow to be a beautiful human being who has a life, has family, has kids, has marriage, has a successful career. Not always with autism.
Right.
And not that there's anything wrong
that's
with
because
that.
of the social deficit.
Yes, there's a lot of other deficits that could, but there is social deficits with ADHD as well. But it just manifests differently.
I see.
So when people think of it as like, oh my gosh, my kid is screwed forever. They have this diagnosis.
Right. So
Or
parents
they have a
think if
problem.
my son or daughter is neurodivergent in any way,
It's over.
it's either they're neurotypical or
dead.
they're just going to
Like
be
it's
living
done.
in my house forever.
Yeah. Which
Right.
you don't have to have neurodivergence to live in your parents' house till you're 40.
That's what I tell my son all the time. Okay,
My
so
daughter threatens me that still.
That
only
she's gonna
5 and a
stay
half. She's like,
forever?
I'm going to stay with you forever. I'm
Yeah.
like, for now, I'm okay with that.
it's fine. It's fine. So it's okay. My son, I thought they would say that, and my son, as soon as they hit the teenage years, like I've hit the point where my children look at me and I am like the least cool person they've ever seen. And it was like anything I say is like, I'm just like an old person who like doesn't understand it. And I never thought I would be that parent. I always thought I'd be like the young, cool dad.
You are to us on this show.
Yeah, here in this context, if you bring out the 14-year-olds and they'll just be just dead-eyed. Okay, these are good questions being answered here. So thank you. Yeah. So
Just enough funk.
yeah. So you came to me by way of your podcast, which is called The Dude Therapist.
Yeah.
And that is because
I'm a dude who's a therapist.
you are a dude who is a therapist.
And I couldn't
Okay,
think of a better name.
very on brand.
Unlike this awesome name. And I didn't want to put my name on it to be like Ellie Weinstein's podcast because I'm not a celebrity. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's Ellie Weinstein?
The EWP though, Ellie Weinstein podcast.
It
You
could be.
You can just be Oopin.
It could be Ubin, but also there's a random Ellie Weinstein in Deal, New Jersey who embezzled a lot of money.
Oh,
Who
sick.
isn't me. So I didn't want that to be.
Yeah.
It's not
okay.
me, I promise.
It's not. Okay. I mean, sure. For now.
the cops being called.
Until we do Google image search to figure out which Ellie
Look
Weinstein
serious,
you
it's
are.
not me.
Okay, so how did you get the idea for doing a podcast? And then, I mean, you've been doing this for years.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the idea, like, I want to do a podcast?
I am a better speaker than I am a writer, which is funny because I'm writing a book right now. But
You probably don't want to lead with that in the book.
I did. I'm like, I suck at writing. Please read my book now.
Right.
And I was really bored during COVID. My in-laws are from here in LA, and living in the city in the Pico Robertson area. And I was with them, and I was on the New York schedule, so I was ending work at like 2:00, and I had nothing to do. And so I was like, you know what? I don't want to do a blog because I'm not good at writing. I would rather speak to 1 million people every day than write a blog. So I just started talking into a microphone.
So you're 5 years in.
Yeah, and people started asking me to be on the show, and I went, what do you mean you want to be on my show? I don't know what this means. And it's been a journey of 5 years of interviewing unbelievable human beings, amazing voices in the mental health world, in the wellness world, and it's really exciting. It's like a hobby of mine. It really energizes me to do what I do in the practice. Because then I'm like, oh, maybe I know what I'm doing. And then some days I go, never mind. And then I have a podcast. I'm like, oh, I am good at something. So it's a really good balance. And, hopefully it leads places. If it wasn't for the podcast, I wouldn't have the book deal. I wouldn't be here. So it's really an amazing avenue to meet unbelievable human beings and really just talk about things that I love, which is mental health.
Without giving any names,
Yeah.
what was the single dumbest thing a guest ever said to you where you were just like, huh?
I have one, but it's so niche that
maybe not that one. Give us number 3 on the list. just like horrible parenting advice.
I feel like I'm James Corden with like the eat or tell something, and I'm like, I just
Yeah.
want to eat the food. Give me the worm soup or Slurpee.
Yeah.
I think I've had some wellness people on who are kind of in the fad of dieting and the world of what you should do to your body to help your mental health.
Okay.
And I think sometimes it's more of just following trends versus actually researching it. I've had someone say to me recently, or not, that the idea is, I don't care about research. I care what feels good.
Right.
And okay, I hear that. It's really nice when it feels good.
Anecdotally, that's awesome.
But like, if you're helping people,
or if you're speaking on a podcast and you're
it's
making
important that
generalized
you
statements.
know what you're talking about and there's truth behind it versus just, this just feels right.
Right. So
And-
kind of fringe therapy, wellness, not science-backed medicine.
Yeah.
That's kind of like you
Yeah.
start to back off a little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
What's the best piece of that's the best thing that someone's, I love that lighthouse parenting thing. I'm it's
amazing.
I'm already ordering books and like.
Mona Amin is amazing. She's
Yeah.
an unbelievable pediatrician and an amazing talker on children. My favorite episode, I have 2 or 3. One was doing an episode with my wife. That was really awesome. We talked about our infertility journey in IVF. And like there were there's information and feelings that she shared on the show that I never heard. And we are very open and talk about things, but I guess that setting, it brought out, or a question brought out certain things. So it
A
was very
formal
nice.
conversation will elicit things
Yeah.
that doesn't come up.
So it was really nice. And I got the honor of interviewing Edith Egger. And just to
So you wrote the book Choice?
Yeah, Choice and the Gift.
Okay.
She wrote 2 books. One was the memoir of her survival story, and one was
From the Holocaust.
Yeah, and one was the like the tips of what she learned and then put into practice as a trauma specialist. And just to talk to her and get a yes, because she got so much hype and excitement, was a huge honor for me. And I got to interview Apollo Ono, who is a a speed skater from the Olympics.
Okay.
And he was like on a flight, private jet, just landed, going to the Olympics, fit me in for like 30 minutes. And I was like, oh, hooray. But it's been really amazing to meet. I've met NFL stars. I've worked with, spoke with NFL stars.
Cool.
That was a weird one, by the way. That was all about cannabis use. And he runs a cannabis company.
Okay.
And the wellness of that and how
Okay.
he got in trouble for it in NFL. And now it's a good thing.
Now cannabis is allowed in the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know allowed.
But they don't test for it anymore. I don't know the NFL.
I don't know the
I just know
rules.
the NBA.
Yeah, I don't know the rules, but more of like the idea of what it means to have wellness as an athlete and how some things are poo-pooed and looked bad on when they can be very
Oh, that's an
helpful to
interesting
people.
conversation. I like that. Yeah.
So it's just been very interesting to the gamut of people.
You do it once a week?
I air it once a week, yeah.
Okay, so you record. So I mean,
batch
this is a
recorder,
lot of work, by the way.
it's a
Once
lot
a
of
week.
work.
That's a
I do it all
grind.
myself. It's
Yeah.
a little wacky.
Oh, you do? You edit the whole thing by yourself?
Yeah, I don't have camera rolls and.
Oh, okay. So this is again the ADHD superpower piece.
Yeah.
That you're able to lock in and do all the different parts of it because it's difficult to do. So,
Some
okay.
days.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, that's a do therapist. What is, maybe you can help me with this also. What is like if you could tell, maybe this from all of the podcasting, all of the interviewing you've done, your personal life experience, and your experience as a therapist, what is one actionable step that if you could just tell any parent that they could do this and it's, play around with it? Is there any one thing?
Yeah. Stop trying so hard. I think as parents and as humans, we try to overdo it so much. We push so hard. We try to be so amazing. We try to be so on top of our kids. We try to make sure everything is so wonderful and just overdo it so much. And sometimes we need to just sit back and simplify things and just sit with it, see what happens, and not jump in too early and not like the lighthouse, right? And kind of be in that perspective of, I am where I am today. I'm doing what I need to do. I could go harder, but I can do it tomorrow. Let's see what happens today. That's for self. For when it comes to parenting, it's, I'm going to see if my kid succeeds or fails. My kid's about to jump off of this couch. There's nothing wrong. He's okay. Let him have some fun. And if he gets hurt, I'm right here. It's not going to be that bad. Or they're playing and there's a little bit of tension between two kids. I don't know, my daughter's 5.5, my son is 3. They fight all the time.
Right.
Maybe
so you don't jump in there right away.
See if they figure out. If they then are screaming bloody murder and one's on top of the other and they're beating each other up or they come running for you, get in. But until that point, you don't have to jump in. Let them figure it out. And when it comes to marriage and relationships as well, sometimes you try, put something out there, see if it works. Stop trying so hard.
Right.
Stop trying to over-impress. Just be there, show up, and be present. And a lot of that time, things just flow.
I actually heard 2 actionable pieces here. On the one
sorry.
hand, the efforting piece, which I really like, and then the other thing is when you feel compelled to act, you feel an action urge. Pause. This pausing, and you said that both for yourself and also really before you jump into the kids and get involved.
I had an amazing conversation that actually changed my perspective on parenting with this therapist, Dr. Siggy.
Okay.
Her name is. She's very big on social media. And we're talking about, she's like, tell me a problem you're having with your kid right now. And I said, yeah, my daughter's 4 years old or 3 years old at the time. And she cries that she's cold. And the blanket's right there. And I get so upset. Just grab the blanket. And she goes, what do you do? I said, I get up and give her the blanket. She goes, no. It's right next to her. You say, hey, if you're cold, what should you do? Teach her to do it herself because you don't have to jump in. And now she learned something. Or with homework, a kid is struggling. They're like, I can't do this. It's very easy to go, okay, I'll just give you the answer.
Right.
But what does that teach them? Nothing. But then instead of sitting back and saying, okay, try again. Daddy's here to help you. Mommy's here to help you when you really need it. I need you to try one more time.
So this is the lighthouse, stepping back.
The lighthouse is...
It's well lit.
Yeah.
You go cook over there.
As long as it's safe, and long as like there's no sharp objects. I heard someone say that when it comes to like a kid walking for the first time, you shouldn't have your hands under their armpits as they're walking because they're never going to learn that they can fall. You're just right there, ready to go. What should you do?
Yep.
Sit back, be ready to catch them, but also you're moving all the edges away. You're moving all the sharp objects so they don't impale themselves.
Correct.
But then you can just sit back and go, you're doing a great job. They fall, then you go get them. But you let them fall. You didn't just have your hands right there and nothing can hurt them. And that's something really important for a lot of us to like calm down, sit back, see what happens.
I love this pausing. This pausing is great. Yeah. Obviously, they don't effort so much.
Yeah.
Do you remember the movie Parenthood? Are you too young for that?
Oh my gosh, that's I watched that with my wife when we were dating.
Okay.
One of my favorite shows. I tell so
No,
many
I mean the
people to watch
movie,
it.
not the TV show.
Oh,
TV show they showed us in grad school. They would cut up clips and show it to us in grad school.
That is one of my favorite shows.
To teach us about different family dynamics.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite shows.
I'm talking about the Steve Martin movie from like the 1980s.
I've watched a lot of Steve Martin movies and I've never.
This is one of my favorite movies.
Okay, I'm gonna watch one. When I get home.
And Rick Moranis it's a family, so there's it's adult children and their specific families. So the Rick Moranis subfamily. That's their big struggle is just putting pressure on their daughter, and that's the big lesson they can learn to like just stop efforting, stop with the effort, just chill the f out.
Is the show based on the movie?
The movie, it's like loosely
similar,
based,
but not.
Yeah. The Dax Shepard character like kind of exists in the movie. I don't want to step on the movie too much because I love that movie.
That's when I fell in love with Dax Shepard.
That's when you fell in love with him?
That movie.
Not Idiocracy?
I don't know what that is.
Oh,
sorry.
it's an amazing Mike Judge movie.
Okay,
I really like the movie Idiocracy.
I know I have to watch
You guys-
two movies.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yes,
Okay.
we're good. Okay. Elevation.
Yes.
This is a separate thing for your speaking.
Part of what I do.
Public speaking.
It's when I speak or anything like that. It's more of the structure of how I can speak and what I can provide. And it's something that I love doing. COVID kind of derailed a lot of the opportunities that happened and then kind of threw everything out, like for most people on most things. But hopefully when my book comes out, that kind of takes more excitement and more energy.
The book is, where are we at with the book?
The book is 75% done. And it is going to come out in January, February next year, 2026.
Cool. Do we have a title yet?
Kind of.
Okay. You want to
The
give us your
title that
working
is
title right
working
now?
title is called Partnership in Parenting. I want to do like Love Within Chaos is really where I'm going with it. We haven't figured it out yet. We're kind of testing Amazon and all the other things to see what would work best.
Okay, good.
But the
good.
idea of the book is that relationship books talk about relationships. Parenting books talk about parenting. My book is a relationship book for parents. So it's how parents don't get lost within the parenting stage and still have a beautiful, thriving, wonderful relationship. So it's 70% relationship, 30% parenting. And hopefully it does some fun things.
Yeah, this is a smart book. I like this.
I hope so.
Yeah, because what happens for many of us when we get lost in the parenting, and then the kids grow up and they're a little bit less dependent, and then you have to circle back and you're like, do we have a relationship outside of that parental role?
Yeah.
And the answer is
No.
maybe we need to cultivate that side. So you're saying
This is
focus on it during.
preempting that. This is trying to get it in early, whether it's right before you're about to have a kid and you're having these conversations, or you have the newborn. It's really for like the ages of 0 to 8, like that real crazy time of everything just hitting the fan, and not having as much independence as the teenage stage, which comes with its own struggles.
It's a different
stage,
level of
and
terror.
hopefully it helps parents continue to love and work with each other as a team.
I think this is a great idea.
Thank you.
I'm really excited.
If only I loved writing.
Well, that's why you have the
I do love
podcast.
writing. Yeah, I do love
Because
writing.
you talk it out, and then you just have to take from that and put it down here, and then massage the turd.
Massage a turd.
That's what it is, you know. You
Massage the
crap
turd.
out the first draft, and then you just massage it.
That's what
And-
editors are for. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Anything? I feel like we're good. I feel.
This is great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Ellie, I want to thank you for a bunch of things. Let me run through it all. First of all, for coming to my house,
Thank you for having me.
for being a good sport with all the different pizzas that we made,
I wish you made more.
and for offering a lot of insight. I learned a lot. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to your book. And and I think this is a book I would like to have on my shelf.
I would love to send you one.
Yeah. Look at me. Okay. Cool. Great. Well, that was a very good conversation with Eli Weinstein. I learned a ton. First and foremost, good vibe. He's just very chill, very relaxed. And it's fun to make pizza with people. So it was fun that I really enjoyed when we were both working on the grandma pizza together. That was like a fun thing. I don't know that I've ever had that experience with a person not besides my children. So that was really nice. And I was very excited with the way the grandma pizza came out. I thought it did very well in the uni. And so I think you'll see the video will bear that out. I hope you've enjoyed that. And yeah, that idea, this thing we spoke about towards the end about the parental pause is something that I always think about pausing in other parts of my life, like before I say something stupid or before I do something stupid. But this idea of kind of seeing something happening and feeling like, oh, I should get involved, and just waiting a tiny bit to just see what's going to happen before I rush in and try to rescue everybody. I felt like as a parent, that's something that I'm going to be holding on to. This was the Personal Pizza Podcast. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe. And if you don't enjoy it, please subscribe to someone that you don't like. And thank you.